stop her from, putting more damage into the team. Drop that ultimate, walk away, and just pray to God that Jason decides to give up on his position.
Yeah, now.
If they manage to pick off a few kills early on, and I still think Uranus is such a great pick going into this meta still. We saw that in the previous game, and hopefully we can see the Uranus protecting the entire team alongside with the Kufra. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'll want to pass it to you guys right now.
I mean, honestly for us, with Uranus being almost literally the hitbox of the size of a planet, I cannot imagine him not being able to do the job.
Yeah,
I agree with you, bro.
We are looking at the Uranus, of course, clearing the way the fastest, heading in towards the corners here. Maybe we'll be able to proxy as well, but both sides are actually defending their buffs relatively well, while LY4 will be able to actually secure this one in the back for sure. A little bit of that sort of respect for territory, as both sides really don't want to take too heavy of a hit, but Santa does receive too much of that damage though.
Yeah, he is very susceptible to a dive here. I would expect Team Bosskurr to actually look to punish this on Uranus' side, but, we'll see whether or not they reach the level 4s fast enough to call for the dive.
Of course, now we are looking at Jason, hoping to actually do a little bit something here. Of course, Birds of a Feather does flock together, while KZP looking to actually spot out Jeps. Of course, getting greeted with a little bit of that sucker punch. So far, they're just basically farming up. No sort of contest whatsoever within the span of 2 minutes, but that's about to change right here. Jason already hoping to actually steal that sort of the room crap away, while KZP here possibly will have to let that slide.
Yeah, you can already see the different style of play coming in from Resurgence here. They're playing a lot more calculated, they're playing a lot more careful, they're giving a lot of respect to Team Bosskurr here. They're not making rash decisions, they are just playing the game very objective based, and if they get a catch, they get a catch. But I feel like Team Bosskurr have kind of predicted. Oh, Zaraki getting a great engage onto LY4. He manages to get out with the help of the Battle Mirror image, and Resurgence look to retaliate but don't find anything. Oh man, LY4 just forced to recall instantaneously there.
Yeah, and we're looking at KZP. Of course, some of all these players of Resurgence are just making sure that they did not commit any sort of a flaw in this early game. But so far, we're looking at the gold graph here. Almost bit even, but Bosskurr says maybe a couple of $100 richer right there.
Yep, and it's a very small lead, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how Resurgence really wants to punish Team Bosskurr here, or even the other way around, because at this point, Team Bosskurr must be really invigorated after their win, and I don't know, these professionals, they apparently they really like these long games.
Yeah, of course, we are just hoping to actually get something out of this, but Jason, of course, baiting Sino in towards the trap, while the Feather Airstrike has been released, but oh my goodness! It's Jeps here with the first blood, as that really long rotation definitely paid off for them. Well, LY4 getting himself that boot, so he can easily walk out of sticky situations, while Santa getting a little bit of pressure here. Oh no! KZP hopping right back in, and members of RSG, they are forcing flickers, and oh my goodness me, Jeps with the second kill, and they have gotten 3 kills in the bag, with also Santa and KZP out of sort of B5.
This is a very new situation. Well, it is relatively new situation for the side of Resurgence here, because usually they're the ones with, especially in this best of 3, they're usually the ones being the aggressors, getting those leads. But now, Team Bosskurr actually have found a lead. Can they push it all the way through and really show Resurgence how it's done?
Yeah, it seems to be that they've definitely ride on that high that they have actually acquired from that really long bout, and Bosskurr hoping to actually advance even further in towards the semifinals, and we haven't seen that for a very, very long time, and this is definitely the best time for them to shine. Already having 3 kills, they are looking to open the top side of the map as well. While KZP trying to actually catch the Rocky, but Leisha, we're showing a little bit more strength right there. It's Japs there with most of the kills as a tank. It's almost not legal, of course, but hey, look at him. He doesn't care. He's just going to be smacking down over on the side of KZP and just walks away.
Yep, presses that get out of jail card free with a wild charge ultimate, pulling him straight on out. Now, I want to see how Resurgence kind of plays this from behind, because remember, Sana, oh boy, he's not as tanky as he thinks he is, and Sino is in a very good position here, especially since he's so close, but the bait has been coming out. Sino, he doesn't have any options of getting out there. Great flicker coming in for KZP to secure the kill, but the rest of Team Bosskurr looking to go for the punish. This might be a very big fight as they are slowly peeling backwards, looking to disengage, and they only find the Uranus, so they trade 1 for 1. A very nice Abyssal Arrow from Sync landing onto Logan in the back line.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
So that being said, at least they did pull one back on track, but here comes LY4 trying to actually survive out of it. Of course, we'll be able to actually hop out in time. Well, Feather Air Strike just to make sure that they're out of this sort of jungle territory, but Jeps can easily just disrupt them from inside of this brush, while Team Bosskurr secures their second turtle of the game.
Yep, and now Team Bosskurr in a very clear lead against Resurgence here, 5k. And I want to see whether Team Bosskurr, do they have that, finishing power to end this game for Resurgence really, really strong and continue on in the upper bracket while knocking Resurgence down to the lower. Because remember, Resurgence made a huge comeback against Team Bosskurr within the regular season itself. So it's kind of like reverse karma here for the side of Resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, of course, feels pretty bad in that sort of way. But, well, let's see whether or not the result will still be as such. But, well, LY4 has got himself that Demon Hunter Sword. Now, Bosskurr is in prime position to actually secure that bottom side of the tower, and seems like Resurgence will have to give it pretty much for free.
Yep, they just have to give it up. There's nothing they can do. They don't have the positional advantage, and now Zaraki right on top of KZP initially, and now LY4's in trouble. He quickly pops out the Blazing Duet. He gets out with the Battle Mirror Image, but the backline's in trouble. Jason dodging the cold destruction from the Aurora. That could have been a really great pickoff for Team Bosskurr, but Resurgence disengaged from the fight. They need gold, and they just don't know where to find it at this point.
Yeah, right now, with that being said, empty jungles, the only way they can find gold is through the bottom side, which currently is pretty much empty. Santa has already bought enough time from the top side here, while Bosskurr tries to actually defend for a little while. 22 more seconds to the next Lord. Maybe if they can get a good collapse right here, might just be pretty much giving them a little bit more of that sort of gold lead back in towards that fate.
Yep. And, too easy for Jeps. He's definitely going to have to play a little bit more disrespectful against RSG just to kind of get them into the mindset. And here is the bait. The rest of the team is here. Team Bosskurr, they come in with a very big cold destruction. Doesn't land on anybody. KZP manages to survive with a sliver of his health. But now, they don't have a hard engager for this turtle. Can they steal this away as Zaraki gets a good catch on the LY4, flickers right into him with the unstoppable force as well. But LY4, quick fingers, gets out of the situation. Team Bosskurr get themselves another free turtle. Lexia takes a little bit of damage from the feathered airstrike, but Bosskurr are looking in prime position to take this series away from Resurgence.
Wow, and of course right now they're the ones actually taking about 6.5k if I'm looking at this sort of the goal scores correctly. Of course, love all these players here right now rotating inside. Jason doesn't seem to be able to actually get all too much of all these sort of defense, right? And KZP though is in trouble, and there we have it. And Leisha's gonna be able to actually secure his second kill. Now looking for LY4. He's forcing a flicker away. Only one more tap to actually take out Sino, but he cannot return back in towards his battle mirror image. Of course, Sync hoping to actually land that abyssal arrow, but it will not hit anything at all.
Yeah, Resurgence is just trying to slow down the bleeding here. Like, KZP had a really good engage there. However, a lot of the spells that help them get out of there. Ooh, a pretty good pick off there for the side of Resurgence. Some kind of retribution at the end of the day. But I don't know. This is not looking too great for either side here.
Yeah, of course. Team Bosskurr not really having the cleanest of play, if I must say, as some of all these sort of these skirmishes look to be pretty great because Jeff was actually leading the pack and he's actually changing so much of all these things ever since he joined Team Bosskurr.
You know, he is always going to be that, consistent tank, constant playmaker, innovator himself, and he's really shown off his capabilities in Team Bosskurr alone. From a team that was struggling to get out of that the ninth place position within weeks 1 to 3 of the regular season to a team that actually made it into the upper bracket. It's a pretty amazing feat.
I definitely must say that with that being the great acquisition of this first split. Here comes that sort of team fight here. RSG hoping to actually flush out members of Team Bosskurr. That's going to be a great capture for Nation, but Nation goes on the field free before he goes down, and that's going to be a flicker coming out from the side of Logan as well. And oh my goodness me, LY4 will have to face off against Jeff, but he might actually get those damage done. There is still going to be a tower right in front of them, but I missed out. Who exactly got the Lord?
I'm not entirely sure as well. I was too distracted with what's happening on screen here, but it looks like Resurgence was able to turn this around and steal the Lord away, on top of getting 3 kills, profiting 1 kill in trade for 2. So, not bad for Resurgence, and I think this is the moment where they can actually even out the score. Look at that gold lead. 1 bad fight from Team Bosskurr and a sacrificial engagement from KZP with a very quick Tyrant's Rage flicker, netting his team a free team fight. Like, wow, really well done from Resurgence here. Team Bosskurr, they have to defend this, but again, I'm expecting this to be a long game, like a 20-minute game at max.
Oh yeah, look at the pace that they are playing. Things are actually changing. It feels like a little bit of that switch over going on, and KZP, great catch over on towards Zeno as they open up the top side. Now, 5 versus 4. Looking great to actually taking down one more turret, but instead they are looking to rotate towards the bomb side, where the tower is pretty much fractured. They definitely will be able to actually get this in jiffy, but looking at the scores, that one fight, like you mentioned, the difference is only about 1,000 right now.
Yep, they've caught up so significantly off of that one fight. They stayed calm and collected, and they got a really good play coming in from KZP. So well done to them. Team Bosskurr on the other side, they've got to be a little bit more aware now, because notice that Resurgence have kind of stepped up the tempo, not that they've kind of evened out the score. They're being more aggressive now. They're making sure that Team Bosskurr can't just walk in and out of the jungle as they please, like Zaraki here, who face checks the brush and gets punished for it.
Of course, so much of all these harsh punishment for the side of Zaraki, and now this comes to a challenge here. Debs now trying to actually force them out, while charge being forced away. But great ball coming through! But look at LY4, he's stopping on the back, looking for Logan, but he will flicker away. And LY4 eventually bites the dust, but great damages put it out by that main marksman of RSG. Now Cito's gonna be coming right back, but now that they have lost their key member, they are pulling it back from the side of RSG, while Cito coming in to race through, but there's still gonna be Santa going on that split.
Just look at the chase coming from Team Bosskurr. Like, they know their win conditions. LY4 is down, and now all they have to do is take Santa is dancing circles around him right now, and I don't think Zaraki can fully commit to killing Sana at this point of time, so he's calling the rest of his team.
Oh man, this is gonna be a cat and mouse chase, but eventually Santa will be locked out. Purifies it off while he's buying so much time. Look at the rest of Resurgence. They are coming through the bottom side, and now it seems like Santa's gonna be saved. Wow.
Yeah,
home run for Santa.
Again, that's the beauty of Uranus. He can get out of a lot of abilities with his ultimate, the Consecration as well. On top of the fact that he has a Purify, I must add that, because without that Purify, he probably would have gotten caught much earlier into this game. So, as long as Resurgence is running circles around Team Bosskurr and not allowing Bosskurr's aggression to net them an objective, I think they can, really come back and maybe even look to backdoor Team Bosskurr at a certain point of time. Hopefully history doesn't repeat itself.
Oh yeah, and now, of course, this leads me to wonder, that sort of pass change did not nerf Uranus, but it's still pretty much going to be a very prominent tank right now to actually be dealt with by a couple of these or the other picks. But now we're looking at Predator Asteroid coming on, and Depths kind of bite a little bit too much more than he can chew. And here comes Inferno. He's actually revealing himself with a sort of a blazing duet, and he will get that kill upon Depths. While RSG rushing right in, looking for Logan here, while Cino tries to cut the wave. Cino getting stuck in between. He still has immortality, buying a little bit more time, but the waves are coming right through. RSG now gets the green light to knock on their doors, and RSG will leave it pretty much racking up in the mid lane. So Rocky falling really low, and Cino now tries to buy a little bit more time. Immortality out, but he will drop for the second time. And now RSG looks for the lower.
Yep, and this is what they... Honestly, I'm a little disappointed because Team Bosskurr, they should have expected it, but instead, they ended up falling into Resurgence's hands there. But don't worry, they still have another opportunity. They can easily defend this lore considering that they have a carry, and this is only the first... the second Luminous Lord of the game. So it's still, still manageable. After the second one, it gets a lot harder.
Yeah, it gets even rougher as it goes, and of course Alive for so far he actually times his ults very well in towards those fights, and so far none of the members will be able to actually catch Sync currently, as Team Bosskurr is now struggling to defend their waves here. A lot of all these sort of the minions are coming through the mid as well as bottom side, and with the Lord as well. They are actually balancing the waves all too well, and Resurgence here, ticket to book for the semifinals.
Yep, it looks like they're trying their very best to do so, and you can see KZP in the back just making sure he's face-checking those brushes by trying to engage in just in case somebody's there. And now they're gonna crash all the waves together here as they look to try and end this game. They're allowing it to go by. However, that's not the idea. They just want to take inhibitor turrets. They're not looking to force the they're not going to force the crystal. They're just gonna play like, very methodically, very textbook. No risks taken, only profit.
Oh yeah, speaking of profit here, that will be a big profit to take down Zeno with a mega kill going on, and Sana right in towards the back line. Another one bites the dust as Sync gets his killing spree, and now we're looking at RSG will be able to actually advance and towards the upper bracket semifinals of the FPL Season